Sup you chuckle fucks, it's your boy Dark Raccoon here with What If Issei Had God Powers, Part 2. Now, before I continue on, guys, yesterday I didn't have a very fun time and I didn't have any sleep. I got I want to say I got only 3 hours of sleep. I was fighting the bathroom the whole damn time. And if you don't know what I mean I was literally having diarrhea. I don't know where or when the fuck that I actually ate something bad, but not the point. So yeah, of course that was a thing. I might accidentally also go to the bathroom. I don't know. My stomach started hurting after recording this, but well, mostly after starting this recording. Not the point. Let me get into this what if before I actually do need to go use the bathroom. But yeah, now let's begin. Until mostly what happened last time. But yeah, we go into a Hanma and Issei right now walking around. This is where, well, everyone, also POV, everyone in this entire school realized that Issei's a god of delinquents. Well, mostly that's what the gangster calls him. Well, mostly the guy that's really next to him who's actually a delinquent, being Hanma. So Hanma Shinji, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly Hanma's his last, but not the point. This is where, well, Hanma is just like yawning. He just, mostly this whole kind of mostly day is actually the worst for him because it's actually now the sixth mostly hour, which he's, thank God it's almost over. Like, thank fucking goodness. Or not, it's not 6 hour, mostly it's the next day, but it's 6 hour now. And this is where Hanma is saying, please just end it all. Please, let God just strike me down. Get me the fuck out of here. Hanma just wants to leave already. He's so tired. He just doesn't want to deal with school. He loved the fact that he could not deal with school, but now he's dealing with school again. So of course he just wants everything to end at this point. He's like, please God, if you're hearing me, strike my ass down. I have sinned. Please just kill me now. He's crying. That's what, well, we'll see. He's crying inside. That's what, well, Issei on the other hand is right now looking like a bored expression. He's having no emotion on his face that much. He's showing zero emotion. But that's what, well, mostly everyone is unnerved. Now, the rumors of, what's it called, the god of delinquents, it is still going on, which most of the kids are unnerved, with the beast of Kuo actually being a very delinquent, because a very strong, powerful delinquent, who seems to be able to take out other delinquents, and their entire armies out pretty easily. This is where, well, mostly everyone thought that he was the weakest kind of perverted beast or whatever, but he's considered to be the strongest. This is where, well, most guys in the entire day actually want to pick a fight with Issei to see if he's actually some kind of delinquent and other things, and they never get to see the day of light again. The reason why is because Hanma's the one fighting them. Yes, Hanma had to pick a fucking fight with almost every motherfucker because Issei didn't want to deal with them. He didn't even want to lift a finger towards them because he saw them all as just pathetic trash in his eyes. So of course Hanma was the one having to pick a fight with almost all of these motherfuckers. This is where, well, Hanma was always kind of getting his ass kind of kicked. Not really, mostly. When they threw a punch, yeah, Hanma didn't go down because Hanma's like a fucking zombie. So of course Hanma just beat the shit out of them all. They were all pathetic in his eyes also. Because, well, even though Hanma is scared shitless with Issei, but mostly when he's fighting against other weaklings in school, they're all quite pathetic. He also had to go against someone of a karate master. Someone that was mostly a club member of like karate for like the male kind of population. And Hanma just didn't give a shit and broke that guy's leg, probably ending his entire career of being a karate master. Yeah, Hanma didn't give a damn. But this is where, well, Issei didn't give a damn neither, because another karate master, who was actually this time like the club kind of like leader of it, was a third year, and of course, where, well, he wanted to pick a fight with Issei and not Hanma, managing to rush past Hanma, which Hanma says, no, you idiot! Before mostly Hanma can actually stop the person from rushing towards Issei, Issei ended this man's entire fucking life. Literally, Issei had his eyes closed, but this is where when mostly both Morohama and Matsuda were actually talking to him, or mostly talking next to him. This is where, well, because not many males actually want to go against mostly Matsuda or even Morohama because they don't know if they're also delinquents. But before, well, mostly the person can actually react fast enough and try to punch Issei in the face, Mostly Issei opened his eyes, grabbing the guy's fist by just one finger. And this is where Issei says, "What the hell is this, Hanma? Did you really fail your job this easily? This can't be necessary. I guess I'll show you a very demonstration and what I meant in protecting me." Damn it, Hanma. This is where Hanma right now, fierce and terrifying, right now is hiding behind some of the crowd, and this is where everyone is just confused. But everyone is now scared shitless when they see next what happened to the Karate Master leader. The Karate Master leader gets his arm both twisted to the wrong side, then gets both of his legs kicked in to basically bend into the wrong way, and before he can even react, he gets his head smashed into one of the lockers in an instant. This is where, he then gets his head again grabbed by Issei and smashed over into the locker until his face is all bloody in an instant. This is where, Issei then drops his body down to the ground limbless. This is where, Issei says, "Don't ever try to attack me again. Hanma, this is also a demonstration. If you fuck up this time again, I'll make sure that your body will be like this but 10 times worse." This is where Issei said in a very menacing tone. Everyone heard this, and of course, even though it's not direct and bloodlust from Issei, it's still quite terrifying. They also feel like this pressure of like weird willpower to just smash into them, which mostly they are all scared shitless. Even the girls, they were thinking that the perverted beast wasn't going to do anything, and he was only talk and no bite. But no, Issei is quite ruthless. This is where, they found out that the hard way. Now, before mostly Hanma or Issei can actually leave what's it called, the classroom, a girl with mostly blackish long hair, and of course mostly having glasses that are kind of blue. This is where, she has kind of different color of eyes. One is brown, mostly her right eye is brown, her left eye is purple, but this is where, she kind of says, I'm here to call, mostly, not blackish hair, no. Well, yeah, it's blackish hair, but mostly it's none other than Sabaki, but this is where, she says, "I'm here to kind of get Issei, Hiro, and Shinjiro Hanma." This is where, mostly both Issei and Hanma just looks at her with mostly Issei has his eyes closed, similar to that of mostly Matsuda, what he does most of the time, while Hanma is just looking at her confusedly. Now, I should mention one thing. Hanma is almost the same height as most of the third years because he is a third year. Hanma is actually 18. The reason why Issei even dragged his ass here was only part of his plan. He has an idea for Hanma. And when he saw Hanma, he just couldn't fucking not bring him along. Because Hanma is considered to be older than mostly him. So, of course, not just because he's a zombie and doesn't fucking give up in fighting, but other than the fact that he also needs someone who's actually a third year. And not many third years do trust Issei because of his entitlement of being the perverted beast. But now, probably no one's going to trust him because of now his new title, the God of Delinquents. But yeah, of course, and the ruthless bastard who will actually hurt anyone to the brutal state. But not the point. This is where, both Issei and even Hanma gets up and just starts walking away. The bell already rang, but this is where everyone was just stunned and actually kind of scared for Tsubaki because, she is one of the kind of, 4 great Onisans, but of course, they're kind of just, or not 4, there's actually in total of kind of 8, but I'll mention the other 4, but this is where, mostly, Tsubaki is kind of just bringing both Hanma and Issei. This is where, she is right now feeling unnerved with the fact that Issei isn't paying attention to her fully from her pot or any of that. And Hanma, on the other hand, is just bored out of his mind and just looking somewhere else also. This is where, mostly Tsubaki then had to kind of do some small talk at least. Because it feels uncomfortable. Mostly very uncomfortable with mostly the silence. Issei is quiet and even Hanma. Every time she remembers last time, it's mostly Issei was quite loud and talkative somewhat, but scared somewhat from her. But this time Issei isn't scared from her at all. Not because Hanma's here, but because everyone in this damn school already knows about his entitlement. So why should he care too much? This is where, Tsubaki says, "So, Issei." This is where, we'll see. Issei said, "You don't need to talk at all. If you don't want to talk, just don't talk. It's better if you could just stay in the silence." This is where, mostly Tsubaki was just shocked to actually hear Issei just telling her to kind of just be quiet. Because mostly Issei doesn't like talking too much at all. So of course mostly Sabaki nodded and just stay quiet. When they get to the present council room, mostly the council room, and this is where Sabaki opens it. Well, mostly knocks at the door. Someone says to come in, and this is where Sabaki opens it and shows mostly inside to be Sona Sifri, also known as Sona Shatora, but not the point. Well, mostly Sona Shatora and Sona Sifri, but not the point. And of course, mostly a red-haired beauty with kind of bluish-greenish eyes. That being, Ria's Gremory. This is where, and also her Parage and Sona's Parage also. This is where, the reason why mostly Ria's is there is because she wanted to play another chess game with mostly Sona and talks about the rumors of the Goddess Delinquents returning or something. Also, the rumors of mostly the karate club just getting annihilated. Yes, almost everyone in the karate club just got annihilated by Hama and their leader getting destroyed by Issei, which mostly Sona actually wanted to question about that towards Issei. But of course, Wraith came along, so whatever. This is where, mostly when Issei and also Hama walks in. This is where, mostly Sanji is very tense. He's scared. He's right now shitting bricks in a corner because, he's scared of Issei. He heard that Issei was someone to take out some of the delinquents yesterday, mostly from the rumors and some of the videos. But now that he saw some of the videos of how he took out the leader for the karate club, he is scared shitless even worse. This is where, mostly everyone is just there kind of tense. Some of the girls are also tense. This is where, mostly Sona says, Issei-kun. This is where, mostly Issei has his eyes still closed and not really caring too much. Han, on the other hand, is just looking around, just out of boredom. What to do? He thinks in his head. He feels like he really wants to just grab his phone from his pocket and just kind of start looking at something. Because he's not very unnerved with this shit, but he's just bored. This is where, mostly, he says, what do you want, Sona? This is where, mostly, Sona says, I want to know about the rumors. Are they true? This is where, Issei looks at Sona, mostly opening his eyes, and his golden-ish brown eyes meets gaze of magenta eyes. This is where mostly Issei said, what do you mean if they're real or not? Have you never watched the videos? This is where Sona says, videos? Huh, I see. So you don't pay too much mostly time to your phone? Of course not. What do you want? Go on, we'll see one of the web streams and go watch what happens. This is where Issei said in a very malicious tone, but it's kind of not too malicious, but this is where, mostly Issei said, this is where, mostly she does kind of go on the streaming app, and this is where, mostly of the schools and with, and this is where, she sees some of the videos, 2 videos that are actually kind of having lots of views, even especially not from the school. It was actually kind of posted, not specifically on the school website, but mostly on like somewhere like Twitter or even like Instagram, and lots of views have already popped up. Like lots of people are watching this, not just what's it called, the Kuo Academy, mostly school, but also like others from like different schools. Which mostly a bunch of comments just go from, holy shit, why is the Goddess Delinquents in the school? One of the most popular and mostly a bunch of male people want to kind of get a harem and other stuff. This is where, the Goddess Delinquents is trying to get a harem. This is where, mostly some comments say, nah, the Goddess Delinquents just want to live peacefully. Like, fuck off, you people. This is where, some of the comments just range from all that. This is where, mostly Sona decides to watch one of the videos, and it's actually the gang members that actually appear and bust through, but Issei literally walking through. But it's mostly like an edit. Someone like edited the video to kind of looking much better, and of course putting music in the background. So the song they put in the background is basically... So the song they put in the background was called Raven, or kind of Raven, made by Dark and Chinese Cinema, not at the point. Japanese, Chinese, whatever. But of course, mostly that was a song in the background kind of playing. But of course, mostly that was kind of playing in the background of mostly the edits. And it mostly just shows Issei kind of walking in front of the leader. Just absolutely annihilating the motherfucker out instantly by just kicking him down to the ground. But of course, he had to slow it down for like a couple of paces back because, the kick was so fast and no one could actually see well. This is where, next to that, it then just goes fast forward towards mostly the others. And of course, Issei literally annihilating everyone except for Hama and actually just making him sit down. While he looks at the father and the father just runs away from Issei. Then there's another edit from mostly now the Karate Master fight that mostly shows Hanma literally annihilating the karate like glove before the leader rushes past Hanma and fights Issei. But this time it's a different song. The song is called, well, so mostly the song was called Blood slash Water, made by Grandson, but mostly the song goes, we never give free lambs to the slaughter, what you gonna do when there's blood in the water? But yeah, you get the point. The price of your greed is your son and your daughter, but yeah. But of course, the song was playing in the background, and literally it just shows Issei right now beating the shit out of, well, this person. The Karate Club leader. We had a care in the world, and he had no, like, mercy in his eyes. He cared little less to this person. And literally just throw him down limpless on the well, mostly ground, bleeding up a storm. But yeah. This is where, well, we'll see Sona right now cover her mouth in an instant, just seeing how horrifying what Issei did. Clearly, this is considered to be suspension worthy, but at the same time, it's not entirely, because mostly Issei, mostly the first thing, it was just delinquents causing trouble. She can't really kind of suspend him for that if he actually did protect the school somewhat in such a brutal way. But then, yeah. And the second one, it was just out of self-defense. She knows about this, and she doesn't. She wants to suspend him, but at the same time she can't. Not entirely, because, well, Rias actually does need Issei somewhat still, but mostly Rias was confused in why Sona was covering up her mouth. This is where, well, mostly Rias decides to try to grab Sona's phone, but before Sona can actually stop Rias from actually grabbing her phone, mostly Rias says, what are you looking at? Edit? What are you... Fine, let me just watch. This is where she watches the two videos, and of course she's just horrified also. This is where Kiba and even Akano and Konako just looks over her shoulder to see what Issei did. He literally didn't care. He literally even walked away from the person who had a care in the world, mostly leaving the Karate Master leader down on the ground who had a care in the world and walking away like if nothing ever happened. His hand might have been blood, he just thinks of this guy's blood. Whether or not he just didn't care too much. This is where, well, mostly Konako, her, inside her head, literally just says, what the? No way the perverted beast can do something like that, but pervert. He's just a pervert, right? She thinks in her head because she still hates Issei because he's a pervert. This is where Akano says, oh my, I never thought he was that brutal. Kiba in his head only saying, ooh, that's quite brutal. This is where he thinks in his head. And it just reminded him somewhat of mostly his past life. But of course, in how he was kind of brutalized by like people. But this one, well, mostly Rias was horrified. She actually wanted to get Issei into her club because she thought that he had a sense of like mostly like a sacred gear inside his body just to help her with fight against Riser. But she just sees how Issei didn't care one bit or any of that. She then turns around to see Issei, and literally Issei has such an emotional look into his eye. He doesn't give a damn. This is where, well, Ham on the other hand is just looking around like without care in the world, bored out of his mind. This is where, well, Rias noticed how Issei looks completely different. He acts completely different. He doesn't care one bit about anyone. This is where, well, mostly Sona decides to right now swallow a lump down her throat and just say, Issei. This is where Issei said, you saw the videos, didn't you? So what are you gonna do? Suspend me? Kick me out of the school? Well, I don't know. Maybe you should. I don't know. I have a weird feeling that for some reason people might bother me in joining their club. So of course I'd rather not deal with that shit. This is where, well, Issei said. But it was mostly specifically towards Rias, which it was confusing why mostly Rias felt that. But this is where, well, mostly Sona says, no. None of that. The first one I can understand it was mostly out of, what's it called? Just fighting for the school. Somewhat. Even if your action were quite brutal, and of course mostly some of the delinquents managed to run away from your entitlement. Why did they call you the god of delinquents? Issei sighs and says, that is for me to know, and for you to find out in my background information. Actually, there's not really much of a background information when someone actually cleared it on accident. Maybe it was an accident, maybe it wasn't. Who knows? I don't need to tell you shit about any of that. This is where, oh, Sona her eyes, and how Issei literally just talks. He seems to not care too much. He doesn't care at all. He doesn't even fear suspension or getting kicked out of the school, which is actually interesting. This is where, well, we'll see Sona nodded. This is where Sona says, in the second video, it shows that you literally beat up the karate club, but why were you so merciless to hurt them so bad? This is where, well, I know it was out of self-defense, but still, why? What happened to him anyway? Don't know, don't care, Issei said very quick. This is where, well, we'll see Sona says, but isn't he your classmate? Not entirely. He's a third year, right? Third years in, well, mostly the school, I don't really care that much. The only person, mostly the only 30 years I care about is no one. And I just don't care. This is where, well, mostly Sona nodded. She sees how Issei really just gives out direct, well, mostly dark tone, direct answers, which are all kind of grimace to her because, well, mostly all of them are quite, well, kind of like dark. And she just really wanted Issei to go back to his perverted way. This is where, well, Issei says, you're thinking of making me go back to my perverted way, which is not gonna happen. I'd rather stay in this little, mostly, how should I say, maybe I should stay as my true self for mostly the rest of the entire school year and even when I go into third year. Doesn't that sound better? I want to make everyone fear me. I don't really care about anyone. This is where, well, we'll see Sona kind of grimace a little more because we'll see if this is Issei's true personality and the false pervert itself was actually just a false state, then she's actually much more scared than that. Even though she's a devil and she shouldn't be scared, she wonders what Issei else hides from her or from anyone entirely. It seems that two perverted, mostly the two perverts that are next to Issei are still perverts, but Issei isn't. Issei has his eyes closed and seems not to care too much at all. But there's also kind of mostly fan-made, mostly edits of Issei, and of course some of those are just basically the songs not being too dark or malicious, but instead of being a different song. But this is where, well, he just shows Issei kind of being a complete badass. Some people edit hearts on it, but yeah, this is where, well, Issei just doesn't care too much about how the stream media is actually kind of putting him as. Pretty much he just doesn't care. This is where, well, Hanma on the other hand is just kind of switch off him because he also sees the edits of himself. This is where Hanma saying, wow, they all really thinking I'm just a dog on a leash. I mean, they're not lying because it feels like this. This is what he's thinking inside, but yeah. This is where, well, we go into mostly Sona kind of saying, okay, fine, Issei-kun. This is where, well, Issei says, why do you keep calling me Kun? This is where, right now, Sona shuts up after a while, because realizing, well, why does she call him Kun? Well, this is where she then stops and says, Issei, I have two options for you. Okay, what is it? First option, you kind of played me in a game of chess. And also, maybe Ria's here, if she wants to play, but not the point. You will play me in a game of chess. And if I win, you will have to go back to your perverted personality and be much nicer to everyone. And also, before she even kind of like think about something else, mostly Ria says, you also have to join my club. Issei says, not happening. What? What do you mean? But if you lose, this is where Issei says, no. If I lose to Sona, that's her, mostly, what's it called, what she wants. Other than that, if you want me to join your club, you have to beat me in chess. If you lose, then that's a fuck no. This is where, well, mostly Rhea shuts up and then ends after seeing how Issei really showed no mercy to her at all, to kind of suggesting. But this is where, well, Sona saw this and decides to just not. Realize that Issei is not taking any of this bullcrap, like, lightly. Now, of course, where Sona can't tell if she can be able to kind of, well, beat him in chess. She doesn't actually know of his skills at all, or maybe not at all. But this is where, well, so of course, mostly, Sona nodded. This is where Sona says, yes, Rias will also play chess, I guess, against you to kind of join her kind of like, mostly club. I don't know why she wants you to join her club, but yeah. Mostly Sona has to kind of keep secretive the supernatural from Issei, because, well, then again, Issei is completely different, so yeah. But Rias is kind of thinking maybe she should, maybe she shouldn't, but yeah. That's where, well, she thinks maybe she can actually try to manipulate this. But this is where, well, Issei says, and what is the other option? This is where, well, mostly Issei kind of asks. Sona kind of grimaces and says, well, the other option is for you to kind of go against every delinquent in Kuo to kind of get rid of them. What do you mean get rid of them? I mean fight them, beat them up, and then kick them out of Kuo and kind of telling them to go fuck off and go somewhere else. She said, this is where, well, she blushed because she did cuss. This is where, well, Issei kind of gets interested in this option. This is where, well, Issei decides to think about it and maybe decides to take a game chance into playing chess because he never played it. But if he can understand it well, then he would just play it. This is where, well, Issei says, I do like that option a lot. This is where Sona right now just grimaces even more because that was not an option that she was actually thinking of wanting to kind of give him. But this is where, well, she's kind of scared a little bit of what he's going to choose. And I choose to play a game with you, okay? Because I actually want 3 favors from you. This is where, well, mostly Issei said with such a malicious grin on his face. Right now, Sona right now pales at what she's actually going to have to give Issei. This is where, well, she's then right now says, wait. First, one of the conditions are, it's not my virginity that I don't want to give you. Issei said, what? No, that's not even one of the options that I was thinking in my head. Those 3 favors are not going to be anything sexual, so don't actually think about it. It's not going to concern any of your club mates, and not especially Sanji, unless Sanji pissed me off one day and I might have to kick his ass. This is where Sanji says, oh, what the fuck? This is where, we'll see. He said also, it doesn't contain Rias and her kind of whatever bullcrap. Don't care about that neither. And I'm not going to hurt Kiba. Unless Kiba pissed me off. Unless Kiba decides to one day go up to me and decides to ask me to go to the club of Rias, and Rias decides to, I don't know, want to talk to me about playing another chess game because I kicked her ass in the first one, I'm going to beat the shit out of Kiba. This is where, well, Kiba grim at that freaking tone of how Issei said it, which mostly Rias right now pales at the fact that maybe her knight would just get annihilated from Issei, and she doesn't want Kiba to do that because she was actually thinking of doing that in the near future to try to get him to the club, but it seems that Issei really doesn't like Kiba because most of the guys don't like Kiba neither. This is where, well, Issei said, other than that, let's play a game of chess. If I can understand it well, then I would like to see to play it. So you're gonna have to teach me a bit. This is where, well, Issei said, kind of sheepily. This is where sheepless, not sheeply, mostly sheepy. No, never mind. Mostly he kind of just sweat drops and kind of just said, scratching his cheek. But yeah, this is where, oh, mostly Sona sweat drops at this and just nodded. She just has to tell Issei how the basic works and how other things, other blah blah blah. This is where, well, she doesn't give him any like advancements or any of that. She then tells him to choose in which chess pieces. Issei looks at most of the chess pieces and decides to pick black. This is where mostly Sona decides to get white. She was confused in why, but mostly Issei said, oh, the black, I choose them because that's basically the color of my soul. I guess you can say. This is where mostly Sona gets unnerved with that tone. And this is where, well, mostly she gets very unnerved. This is where, well, she then says, I understand. This is where, well, she gets the white piece and she can go first, but yeah. She kind of just starts playing. This is where, well, mostly Sona realized that Issei is either sacrificing members or kind of just wondering why he keeps sacrificing members. This is where, well, she does lose some couple of pawns and even a bishop, but she's confused in why mostly Issei sacrificing members and other things. Until Issei literally had a very just easy shot to take out the king. Issei says, checkmate. This is where, well, Issei said, which Sona was confused in seeing her king just easily get destroyed. This is where Sona was confused and saying, what? How did you, Issei said, sacrificing members was easier than I thought. This is where, well, mostly Hama kind of grimaced at that tone because mostly Issei literally meant what he said. Sacrificing members are easier than you think. Because, well, Hama can remember most like all the time of how Issei is not a part of any king, but he will sacrifice people for his needs and only. He grinned at that kind of tone of Issei. This is where, well, mostly Sona was confused, but she lost. This is where, well, she would go again in the game, but this time it's Ria's turn. Ria says, okay, then let's see if you can play against me. This is where, well, right now Rias is actually thinking in what to do, but this is where before Issei can go on. Before I go on, I also want favors from you. This time it's not sexually neither, so don't think of that in your head. For some reason, I feel like you're perverted as hell. This is where Rias kind of blushes and says, what? No, what? Huh? But I thought those 3 favors. No, 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 no. 3 favors are from her if I beat her. You, on the other hand, it's an entire freaking game. This is where, well, we'll see. Rias kind of nodded. So I kind of just sees how Issei's smart in this. This is where, well, they played the game, and mostly Rias noticed that mostly some of the members of Issei's kind of like pawn pieces are not pawn pieces, mostly the chess pieces are getting sacrificed. She's naturally wondering why Issei does this. This is where mostly Rias decides to kind of question out why Issei's doing this. Issei kind of says, well, it's quite easy. You see here, the game of chess kind of reminds me of my game of life. What I mean my game of life, I mean that mostly I just see these chess pieces as mostly like this, as I am the kings for terms, but every other members are just those that I manipulate, those that I just use to gain more power, right? That's what I see in this piece. So I'll sacrifice those that I don't need or I think are just useless to take out some of your members. After they become sacrificed, I'll use other members to kind of, well, defeat your members. Of course, after I find them mostly useless to me, I'll sacrifice them also. This is where, well, mostly Issei said, well, with such a tone that mostly gave Rias a shiver and kind of get her angry also. Because mostly, literally what Issei is saying is, Issei is manipulating people. Besides, all these people are just manipulators. Well, not manipulators, mostly those who just got manipulated by Issei. And he just uses those who are weak, throws them away like nothing but garbage, and those who are still useful, he uses them to kind of fight and destroy the others, but after they become useless, he just sacrificed them. This is where it just made her kind of angry, because it reminds her of one person that she despises a lot. Even though Issei is not a perverted piece or any of that, still, it kind of reminded her of Riser, which she got up in an instant and slapped the shit out of Issei, which Issei just was surprised to get slapped. This is where Hama actually got angry and says, what the hell? This is where, well, mostly Sona winds her eyes and says, Rias! This is where, well, Rias says, what is wrong with you? Right now, Rias said. Issei gets up in an instant right now with a very angry and annoyed kind of look on his face. And Issei said, the fuck you mean, what is wrong with you? Who the fuck just slapped me? This is where Issei slaps the shit out of Rias because, well, he is mostly his hands are rated G for gender neutral. But this is where, well, mostly Rias was shocked to get slapped back. She never expected mostly someone to actually raise his hand after, well, mostly them getting slapped. Issei said, guess what? I don't believe in mostly, what's it called? I don't believe in mostly one side being equal to the other side or mostly having advantages. The reason why I slapped the shit of you is because my hands are rated G, gender neutral. Well, mostly gender equality. So next time you dare fucking try to strike me, I'm gonna strike you back. This is where mostly Kiba wanted to kind of rush in this, but this is where before Kiba, Koneko, or even Akano tried to kind of help Rias. Right now, well, Hanma appears saying, so, can't let you do that. This is where, well, mostly Kiba tries to attack Hama, but this is where Hama grabs his fist and knees him in the stomach so hard. Koneko tries to attack Hama, but this is where Hama grabs her from the head and smashes her down to the ground. This is where Akano tries to attack Hama, but this is where she was about to crack a lightning to her hand until mostly she was stopped in an instant by mostly Tsubaki saying, don't. They're humans only. This is where, well, mostly Tsubaki said. This is where, well, Akano just grit her teeth and just sighed. This is where, well, we'll see Rias was kind of shocked. This is where, well, she just looks back at Issei. This is where she has her kind of hand right now towards her face. This is where, well, mostly Issei said, what? Are you going to ask for mostly other guys to help you? Are you going to ask the guys who are simps in this school to help you fight me? Well, go ahead. I'll break every bone in their body in an instant what I care in the world. This is where, well, we'll see Rias kind of shook a little bit. That's where Issei says, oh please, don't tell me you haven't actually realized that you're also a manipulator. If you think I haven't realized this, you basically use your mostly seductive body to try to, well, mostly seduce people. And that's actually a way of manipulation. You do something similar to me. You can't deny that you haven't done something similar to me. You would think I'm an evil person for manipulating those and just using them as nothing but just pawn pieces or just chess pieces in my game of life. It sounds to me that you're basically a hypocrite because you do use the same strategy of manipulation against others. You think I haven't noticed? You try to basically use your opie to seduce me, mostly in this game. If you haven't realized that, I only use manipulation to try to trigger you. To try to see if you get angry, you are a hypocrite against this game. That's why I say all their stuff. But all of those stuff that I said was true. I use only people for my game. This is where mostly Reyes was shocked and dumbfounded how Issei actually managed to see all of this shit and sees how mostly of a true person, mostly the true person that she actually is. This is where Sona was shocked to see how Issei is quite calculating. This is where mostly Reyes said, but this is where Issei says, shut up. I know that you're trying to make sure that you're the righteous person here, but you're not. You're basically the same as me. A filthy, evil beast of mankind. Or you could be something else. Who really cares? I feel like you're not someone like mankind. You're not a evil person. You're mostly like a devil, a succubus. Mostly a better term, a succubus. Because succubus try to use their seductive bodies to lower people into their traps. You're basically the same term as that. Unlike me, I'm a true devil who actually manipulates those just to get my, mostly kids' benefits for my life. That's right, mostly Maria is dumbfounded to actually be called a succubus. She is a devil, but yet Issei calls her succubus. Then again, mostly it's just words that he said. Mostly, they're not really like showing that he's actually a devil. No, he's just saying those words to show that what he is entirely is, entirely like his being and personality is. But yeah, this is where Arias kind of said, "Are you a devil?" This is where Issei said, "No, those words are just explaining what I am and my personality." Are you really thinking I'm a devil from mostly those rumors of like supernatural stuff? I heard of that shit, but I'm not a devil. I'm not possessed by a devil. I don't think so. This is where he says, but not the point. That's stupid for you to even ask such a stupid question. Rias kind of gulps in an instant. This is where Sona realizes that Issei does not believe in the supernatural, which is actually thank goodness. But it wasn't. She then thinks if Issei believed in the supernatural, he'd be one of the crazy manipulators in the entire history of the supernatural. But yeah. He's quite intelligent, smart, and other things, which made Sona kind of blush in an instant. But this is right, mostly Issei says, other than that, and mostly Ria's grammar, we are going to stop with this game. Instead, this game is nothing but just drawn as a freaking tie. A tie of annoyment and I don't care. If you think you want to play a game against me and trying to make me join your stupid fucking club again. Issei smashes freaking fist into the table. We're right now almost shattered the entire chess piece. Set. This is where, mostly Reyes was startled. This is where Issei said, other than that, Sona, I'll be taking that other option. This is where, mostly Sona said, wait, what about that win against us? Yeah, that's actually just a tie. I'm just gonna say that's a fucking tie. I do not care. I'm gonna just deal with all the delinquents in around this goddamn, mostly not school, but around this entire freaking mostly town. Other than that, I'll be going. Issei gets up in an instant and says, "Let's go, Hanma." Hanma says, "With pleasure." This is where, Hanma says, "With pleasure." This is where Hanma walks away. Of course, he was grinning. This is where, mostly the door opens wide, and this is where, the door then shuts closed very hard, thanks to Hanma, but not the point. This is where, Sona glares at Rias in an instant. This is where, Sona says, is what he's saying true? Rias. This is where, mostly she said in such a quite deadly tone. Right now, Rias gulps and says, yes. This is where she's had to shut up in an instant. And this is where, admit the truth. Right now, Sona's, kind of just breathes in and breathes out, really taking a deep breath. She then glares at Reese even more and says, "You seriously try to seduce him?" by trying to use your chest. Really? Wow. I thought I was a bad person. I thought devils are bad already. But you're truly trying to show the true devil nature towards a human. This is where, Rhea says, but he's also a devil. No, he was expressing in what he was, and mostly in a imagination state, not an actual mostly race of what he is. He doesn't seem to believe in the supernatural at all. Even if you try to recruit him to his your devil barrage, he probably wouldn't even care and probably would ignore you entirely. This is where Rhea's grinding her teeth and says, what about the game with Riser? Oh, please, you can probably just throw that out the window because mostly Issei's right now show your true colors of manipulation. This is why, mostly Reyes grit her teeth and says, but I need to get out of that merge. Right now I'm thinking who's actually worse, you or Riser? I can't tell which one. This is where right now Sona said in a very stern tone. This is where Reyes glares at her kind of best friend and just says, fine. This is where, we'll see, or not best friend, childhood friend, and just walks away. This is where Sona sighs and says, damn it. This is where, Sabaki says, so that win against you and Issei is counted as a tie. Yeah, it is. Damn it. We gotta somehow please Issei. This is where, Sabaki then has a mostly blush on her face and says, you do realize that since you lost, since I saw you lost and everyone in the garage saw you lost against Issei, but Issei considered to be a tie, don't you think that your parents should know about this? This is where Sona right now face becomes red and instantly and says, no. Sabaki, my parents do not need to know about this. Clearly he said it's a tie. It's pretty much was a call. Not my loss or not his loss, so of course it's not even a win-win. This is where, mostly Sabaki kind of grins and just sees a little. She just wants to tease Sona a little bit, but not much. She wanted to light up the room a little bit, but yeah. This is where, mostly Sona realized what mostly Sabaki was trying to do and just glares at her and then sighs and says, besides, my sister shouldn't know about this neither. He's considered to be just a human, and of course the manipulation ways are quite dangerous, and he's also quite intelligent, but still, we shouldn't get in his mostly way neither. This is where, mostly Sanji said, I coldly hardly agree with the fact that we should not get in his way. Everyone in the club just thinks of Sanji being a coward. Sanji says, if you're thinking that I'm a coward, I'm a coward. I'm not fighting against Hama or Issei. This is where, mostly Sona just sighs and says, fine. Okay. Does everyone agree with that? Everyone nods. Mostly Reyes is walking away. Of course, she's still kind of getting mostly her face kind of healed by Akano. And this is where, mostly Akano says, I didn't expect him to slap you. Mostly Akano said, in a very worried tone of mostly Reyes and her kind of health. This is where, mostly Kiba is kind of groaning. But of course, this is where mostly Kaneko is also groaning from the fact that she gets her face smashed to the ground by Hama. She's kind of clearing the fact that that tall, mostly person literally managed to kind of grab her pretty easily and smash her down to the ground so easily, like he was quite limbo, but not the point. So, right now Rhea says, yeah, I wasn't expecting Issei to do that. I slapped him out of mostly sheer anger and mostly frustration from the fact that he reminded me of Riser. This is where, mostly Rhea said. This is where Akano nodded and says, I know. His way of thinking is quite dark. This is where mostly Akano stops healing her and started going up to Kiba. This is where Kiba says, still, mostly my stomach hurts from the fact that I fought against Hama-san. He's quite strong for being a human. And from the titlements that I heard, they call him the zombie because he can take on multiple hits. This is where, Kaneko right now has wiped half the blood off her face. She's trying to kind of close the blood from her face to kind of leak, but yeah. This is where, mostly Reyes nodded. The two humans that they just met seem to be quite powerful, and they should not be messed with or taken lightly. This is where, Reyes thinks in her head, still, I need Issei on my team. This is where, mostly Akano, Kiba, and even Koneko hears this, and they think that they thought of all the same thoughts. Right now thinking, Reyes, are you fucking insane? Did you not hear what mostly Kaichu said? Did you not hear how Issei basically slapped the shit of you? Do you not see how much of a threat he is? And you still want him? This is where, well, mostly all of them are just shocked and confused. This is where, well, mostly Rios is just thinking how to get him. There's no way to use her manipulation and her opie to kind of seduct him, because Issei is clearly not into that shit and doesn't seem to care too much. He's into he's into girls, but still he's not into Rios, because Rios is literally trying to manipulate him, which he's not stupid enough to fall for that. But we go into mostly a time skip. We go into mostly the after school. Hanma is actually walking home because, well, mostly Issei was actually going to deal with the gangs, or mostly the different delinquents by himself, but told Hanma to go home. Hanma was confused, but decides not to bother or question out anything, because he knows that Issei seems to be quite bored with some of the school members of his school, and he might just go deal with what's it called, the members by himself, mostly different delinquents, because he knows how his leader is. But this went well. Mostly, Hanma was actually thinking of going to the store. Of course, Issei was also going to the store. Well, mostly, they weren't going. Well, mostly, Hanma wasn't just going by himself to the house or any of that. Mostly, he's still following Issei, but not the point. This went well. He just thinks in his head that mostly his leader is kind of crazy, but still, again, well, he calls Issei leader now after a while because, well, Issei's scary as hell. And you should probably just stick with Issei because, yeah. Now, Issei is getting to the store, and when he gets to the store, he kind of walks into seeing a pinkish hair girl and a brownish hair girl with brownish eyes are right now talking. This where, well, they were shocked to see Issei, but Issei just completely ignored them. Right now, he's going towards mostly an aisle to kind of get some groceries. This where, well, he kind of gets a basket and starts just grabbing the groceries. This where, well, Issei is kind of just walking until mostly this like little kid with purplish hair, like purplish, mostly, like a lighter purplish hair color with dark purplish eyes, kind of just bumps into him and starts kind of annoying Issei. Which mostly the reason why is because mostly the person just says, "Huh, whoa, man, you're so big." This is where, well, mostly Issei kind of ignores him, and the kid kind of pouts for that and decides to kind of bother Issei. This is where, well, mostly kind of grabbing onto his like pants, or grabbing onto his shirt, or just managing to somewhat poke his cheek when Issei crouches down to grab something. Which mostly two girls are just winding their eyes and trying to tell, well, the little kid to not be anywhere near that person, not because, well, he's a delinquent and actually considered to be one of the threats in school, a delinquent threat, but also from the fact that he's a pervert. But of course, the kid doesn't listen to mostly her, well, mostly not her, mostly his sisters, or mostly one of his sisters, and her friend, and of course, he decides to keep bothering this person. That's where the person seems showing no emotion, no care of this kid, or whatever. This is where, well, mostly, the kid is sighing, deciding to walk away after a while. The two girls are happy to see that he walked away, but this is where the kid bumped into another person. This is where, well, the kid bumped into this older kind of person who kind of seems to have, well, a hood on him. Mostly a black kind of, not black jacket, mostly it's like a dark gray jacket. And of course behind him is a bunch of other guys, but they seem to be like third years, somewhat second years. But this is where, well, they seem to be coming from a different scope, but not the point. They're actually delinquents, and this is where, well, they kind of say, huh? What the hell, little brat? Can't you see where you're going? This is where, well, the kid gets a little scared until mostly the person grins and says, wait, I know you. You're Matsuri. You're basically the one of the children of, well, the store owner. That's good to know that you're basically the store owner children. This is where, oh, we'll see. This is where he kind of gets scared, and this is where, well, he's like, what do you want? This is where, well, we'll see. The person grins maliciously and says, oh, I don't want anything from you, but I do want something from your delicious sister. This is where Matsuri gets scared and unnerved. And this is where the two girls were about to like pull out probably a wooden kind of like kendo sword, because they notice how mostly these two are, or mostly the older man is kind of like older like student kid whatever from a different school. It's kind of messing with what's it called, one of their kind of like siblings. But yeah, well, one of them is kind of considered to be the sister of this like little kid. But yeah, but this is where, well, the store owners were about to call the cops because they actually noticed these people and their delinquents that like to cause trouble in the store. and now notice their son being here, and so of course they are thinking to call the cops or not, because they don't know if they create a bigger situation or whatever. But this is where someone managed to grab the person, the hood collar, in an instant. Before, well, the older guy was about to grab mostly Matsuri. Mostly he gets his like neck choked by his own jacket, his own hood. This is where the other guys were actually standing there and just kind of chuckling, thinking of what to do with the girl who was actually named Catherine. But of course, where their see their leader just gives her what's it called, his like he's getting choked out by his hood, and sees another person just standing there. It is none other than Issei wearing the school uniform. Issei looks at these people with just an emotionless gaze of his eyes. This is where, well, he then kind of just grabbed the person, still holding onto his like mostly hood. The guy is trying to choke, and this is where he keeps choking. He's turning blue in an instant before Issei kind of pulling him up and throwing him into his gang, well, other fellow members. This is where, well, mostly Issei is just annoyed with these people, causing trouble, and of course he couldn't just shop normally. Of course, he ignored the kid because he's just a kid and can easily be ignored, but these people are just causing him trouble. So, of course, he even wanted to pay, and mostly the store owners didn't fucking appear. So, yeah, he was ready to pay. This is where, well, mostly Issei says, I'm ready to fucking pay, and I'm ready to fucking make you people pay up what annoyment you actually caused, and how many minutes you maybe had to spend here. This is where, well, mostly the Dino can say, yeah, you think we're gonna pay? You think, who the hell do you think you are? Yes, I say, well, you don't really know who I am, and it's better to keep it like that. But, tell me, who's your leader exactly? This is where the guy who was actually older says, I'm the leader. Who do you think you are? This is where, well, he's stuttering. This is where, well, he's trying not to show stutter, but he already knows who exactly Issei is. Issei Kuragawa, also known as the god of delinquents. This is where, well, mostly, this person says, that's it, I ain't taking shit from you, trying to send a powerful right hook, but this is where, well, Issei right now, like, kicks this guy in the chin so hard, knocking his shit out. This is where the others wind their eyes, and Issei says, tell me the true leader, don't tell me this guy is the pathetic leader of you idiotic bunch. This is where they say, no, the true leader is at this place. This is where they bitch out in an instant. Issei says, wow, you guys are such pussies. And I don't like that. So be gone from my sight. This is where, before they can even react, Issei already kicked the shit out of almost all of them, knocking them out, and of course just dragging their bodies. Of course, this is where the door managed to open, and it was an old lady who was just kind of old, and of course kind of walking through the, what's it called, opening slide doors. And of course, where, well, a bunch of people fly past her before she can even react and say, what was that? This is where Issei said, oh, nothing there. This is where Issei said, well, we'll see. Showing up, well, he does not really kind of showing like the emotionless look, but just showing kind of a normal kind of look, like if he was still a child or something like that. Or not a child, mostly just a normal look of, well, no anger, no emotionless look, just a normal, just plain look. This is where, well, mostly the old lady says, oh, okay, thank you. This is where, well, she then kind of nodded. Issei, yeah. Mostly, Issei then looks at the leader and kind of just drags him out and says, oh, this is just a pile of trash. The old lady nodded. See, this is where she walks through, and yeah, Issei throws the guy out and just says, done. Such a pain. This is where Issei thinks in his head. Then this is where he then remembers the now coordinates and where to find that leader. And he will beat the shit of them all because, well, that's clearly his mission. Whatever he is, he can be a goddamn Yakuza boss and he won't give a damn. This is where he's waiting at the goddamn cashier place and waiting for the store owner to just get over here so he can actually pay up. Or the cashier. Who exactly is the fucking cashier? This is where, well, mostly the kid himself was actually left dumb shocked and just found it from, we'll see, the person he'd been bothering for the whole damn time of the store, and realized that the person could have easily kicked the shit of him just like the older kids, pretty easily. And since he's a kid, he probably wouldn't be able to fight back. This one, well, he was happy from the fact that the older kid didn't actually beat the shit of him, and noticed that he's basically similar the same age as, well, his older sister being Catherine. And of course, well, someone actually appears at the cashier, and it's none other than Catherine. Catherine she still has a very disdain of Issei, but is happy for the fact that her little brother wasn't hurt too much. This is where, well, mostly Issei says, finally, fuck's sakes. Issei said under his breath, and this is where, well, mostly Issei is just waiting to pay up, and this is where, well, mostly Catherine says the number, and Issei just pays up, And Catherine is confused in why Issei isn't just gogging at her or just looking at her open or any of that, because mostly the kind of uniform that she wears is kind of tight. Is basically supposed to be her mother's a little bit, but not the point. And her mother's doesn't really have huge opi, but not the point. But of course, she doesn't really have huge opi. Mostly her size is at least C. Yeah, mostly C cup. While her friend is actually D cup, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly Catherine is confused in why Issei isn't doing any of that. He grabs a shopping bag, but before going, mostly the store owner, who is actually supposed to be the father of Catherine, says, kid, wait up. This is where, well, Issei turns around and says, huh? This is where, well, the store owner says, I want to tell you something. This is where, well, Issei says, what is it? This is where, well, mostly the older man bows down and says, thank you for protecting my son. This is where, well, Issei said, why are you thanking me? Are you thinking that I'm a hero? Sorry, I'm not a hero. This is where, well, mostly the other man says, but you protect the store and also protect my son. Issei says, no, I did it because, well, I felt like it. You see here, I'm also a delinquent. I'm not different from the others, mostly the other idiotic delinquents from those. But they're from a different gang, and I'm just a delinquent who just doesn't like being bothered and wasting time too much. So yes, I didn't do this just because it was a good thing. I did this because I was bored and I just wanted to pay up and go home. So, sorry to ruin your parade thinking I'm a hero, but I'm not. This is where, well, mostly the older man looks at Issei and sees how Issei is kind of stern. And this is where, well, Issei just decides to walk away. Kind of walking out of the store, letting the slide doors kind of open and just walking away. This is where, well, Issei then noticed the guys getting up, and this is where Issei said in an emotionless tone voice. In the most serious emotion tone voice. Get the fuck out of here now. This is where all of them scrambles in an instant, just running away. This is where their leader also just starts running away limping, because he's just scared shitless. He fought against the god of delinquents, and the god of delinquents did just fucking straight up just murder him. This is where, oh, we'll see Issei sighs and says, Hanma, I know you're there. This is where Hanma says, what do you want? Do you want me to go after them and kill them? Sure. Go after them and make sure that they don't actually come around this fucking store ever again. That's where Hanma just grins and says, fine, I'll do that just because I'm bored right now. Issei right now just leaves Hanma. Hanma just walks away. This is where, well, Issei is now going home. This is where Catherine, pretty much, Moriyama is the one to hear all of this, and this is where, well, she's shocked to hear how Hanma actually just listened to Issei. This is where, well, she knows how mostly the boy, Hanma, and mostly the third year, is someone to not really mess with, and seems to just listen to Issei mostly all his commands. And seeing how Issei is completely different, she kind of starts blushing a little bit on her face. She actually liked a Pacific boy in the school, mostly someone named Midori, who actually was kind of cute and hot and other things, but she had a crush on him, and this is where, well, she also had a crush on Issei before he became perverted, or mostly when in middle school, somewhat. But of course, well, she now sees Issei, and this is Issei's true colors, so of course, the colors that she saw in middle school, who wasn't actually a perverted boy that much, Issei, was actually kind of false. This is where she then thinks in her head, wait, were they just false personalities? Is this truly how he acts? She starts kind of crying a little bit, because mostly she doesn't want Issei to kind of actually be this cruel. This is why, well, mostly the store owner kind of just grimace a little bit, and this is where, well, mostly Catherine says, Father, what are you doing? This is where, well, the store owner says, sorry about that, Catherine. I was just thinking, the boy, isn't he a part of your school? Isn't because of the school uniform? Catherine just nodded, saying he is. So, how is he in school? He's a delinquent in school also. He doesn't seem to care about anyone's feelings at all. He recently just beat up the kind of like karate class master or whatever, just because they decided to pick a fight with him. I see. So what happened today? They all ended up in the hospital. Not just because of Issei alone. That's the boy's name. This is where, well, the store owner nodded. Not because of just him alone, but someone else named Hanma. Hanma is another delinquent who was actually kind of a recent biker gang member of what I kind of recently told you, and kind of you probably saw in the news. This is where, well, mostly, right now the store owner nodded, saying, I see. Well, Even though he's a delinquent, I can still think that he's a good kid. This is where, well, Catherine says, I don't think that's a good idea, Father, but you do you. This is where, well, mostly Catherine takes in her hand. This is where, well, mostly we go into a time skip of Issei getting back home. He gets home and of course he noticed the door being closed, and of course his parents leaving a note on the front door saying Issei that we're going to go on a field trip. This were, or not field trip, mostly a trip on a, what's it called, just vacation trip and other things. There will be food and other things, and you will still have to buy food by yourself and other stuff. Issei well, mostly sighs and just sweatshops, and his foster parents just decided to go on another vacation. Well, whatever. They are just foster parents. They're not really his true parents. This is where, well, mostly Issei just walks inside and kind of just like, mostly opens the door, walks inside, and kind of just starts eating some food that he just started cooking up and at the point a while ago. But we go into mostly Issei not going to sleep, but actually going to go deal with some troublemaker delinquents. But yeah. But we go into the next day, and of course Issei was already dead as tired, falling asleep in class, even though his eyes were closed. He looked like he was paying attention, but really he was already asleep. Hanma, on the other hand, was right now bored in his mind, having his phone right now with him, and kind of just watching whatever. Now, this where beside them was Matsuda and Murahama, and they were basically not really paying attention either. This is where, well, Matsuda was actually looking at the perverted, with also Murahama, but not the point. This is where, well, someone with brownish hair and goldenish hazel eyes and glasses is kind of glaring, well, not glaring, mostly glancing at Issei and Hanma. This is where, well, mostly this person's kind of writing down something, and this is where, well, she keeps writing down until mostly Issei for some reason gets annoyed with this person. And this is where, well, the reason why is because, well, he feels like this girl is doing something stupid, kind of writing probably a fanfic or whatever. This is where, well, the girl was actually going to continue right now writing, and probably even drawing at the same time, but this is where pencil smashes into her kind of notebook in an instant, which mostly no one else notices, but it was actually none other than Issei throwing a pencil. Issei said, "What do you want, Aika? Why do you keep staring at us?" This is where, well, Issei kind of said with an emotional tone. This is where, well, mostly Aika said, "You realize this was a notebook, what the hell?" Issei says, "I don't care." This is where, well, mostly Issei said with a tone being emotionless and careless or whatever. Right now, Aika kind of glares at Issei, but this is where Issei just sighs and just decides to get, well, mostly he was standing up, but not the point. He then went back to sit down, but yeah. Right now, Aika is kind of glaring at the fact that Issei does something like that. But we go into mostly a time step after that. Mostly from the whole day being a normal day, and Issei just going home. But of course, before going home, this is where a girl actually wanted to ask him out to kind of go out on a date. This is where, well, she's hoping for mostly this to happen. She then kind of like, right now, says, she tried to talk to Issei, but Issei was walking across the bridge pretty fast. And this is where, well, she then said, this is where, well, she tried to act kind of cute, but this is where, well, she realized that Issei is ignoring her. From the rumors that she heard, he's basically a huge pervert, but this is where, well, she then said, excuse me. This is where she had to speak up loud now until she thinks about it. This is where, well, mostly Issei turns around and says, "What do you want?" This is where, well, mostly Issei then turns around his corner of his eye to see, well, a group of, well, people walking, towards him. And this is where, well, Issei said, "Hold that thought and what you're gonna ask me." This is where, well, Issei said. This is where, well, mostly Rainer was confused. It was actually Yuma, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly Issei rushes up to, like, these gang members. And this is where, well, they actually are gang members and not what's called just delinquents. But this is where, well, before they can even react, Issei right now did a Brazilian kind of kick to one of their heads, right now launching them. And the other guys right now rushes towards Issei because they were shocked out of their stupor after a while, because one dude got fucking uppercut and knocked the fuck out, while the other guy tries to punch at Issei. Issei grabbed his fist, twisting his arm and breaking it, and then punching this guy so hard in the face, launching him into a tree behind some bushes, but not the point, knocking him out. This is where, well, 3 people were startled up from mostly their spot, but Issei didn't pay attention to them fully, because whatever. This is where, well, they were shocked to see a human just get knocked the fuck out and right now launch towards him. This is where Issei says, "Back to what I needed to, wait." This is where, well, Issei went down on mostly, he just crouched down to kind of look at the gang member who he knocked out, the first guy in their Brazilian kick, and kind of just look into his wallet, look around, see some money. Of course he takes that shit. He's a delinquent. Why not? He then kind of looks around, looks for an ID, number, phone number, whatever, bullcrap. He finds it in this where, well, he also finds, well, an address that mostly might lead him towards the proper gang. This is where Issei then throws down the wallet and doesn't care on this guy's, like, mostly stomach. Issei then goes back up to the girl with blackish hair and mostly magenta eyes. Issei says, what do you want? This is where, oh, the girl is just shocked, left dumbfounded, and just seeing how Issei was brutal as fuck against E3. This is where, well, mostly she then just kind of realized that she was getting snapped at her face, most about Issei. Issei says, hello? Hello? Oh, for fuck's sake, I don't give a damn. This is where Issei was about to start walking away until Yuma grabbed him from the arm. She then thinks this is probably a bad idea, and this is where, well, she then lets go and says, can I ask you a question? He says, what is it? Can you, well, would you like to go on a date with me? She then said. Issei thinks about it and says, a date? Never been on there. And why? Are you trying to get experience or something? This is where, mostly right now, Rainer blushes and says, no. Yes. This is where, well, she then thinks she doesn't know how to answer this entirely. Because it sounds perverted, but doesn't sound perverted. It just sounds kind of curious. This is where, well, we'll see, Yuma thought that she can actually be able to fool this human. But no. This is where, well, Issei says, sure, whatever. Besides, I don't think, when do you want to have this day out? You want to know first. This is where, well, she says, Saturday, afternoon. This is where, well, mostly Issei says, sure, I don't really have things to do on Saturday. So sure, why not? Unless my schedule changes, and yeah, that'd probably be bad, but whatever. Other than that, I'll probably see you on Saturday afternoon. Hope you can actually deal with someone who's actually quite a delinquent with me. But whatever, bye. This is where Issei walks away. This is where, well, mostly Rainer thought that went well. This is where, well, a group of her friends kind of gets out, mostly Donisik, Kalawiner, and Minto. And this is where they just say, that kid was actually more confusing and shocking. This is where Donisik says, in the experience of battle that he has, it looks like he's been a fighter for a while. This is where, well, he says, in a very mostly experienced kind of voice. This is where, well, the other three females kind of just switch off and mostly Donisik. This is where, well, Rainer says, but why did he attack them? This is where, well, mostly Rainer kind of questioned him. Donisik says, think about it. They're kind of delinquents. If you notice the tattoos on these people, they're delinquents slash could be gang members. How do you know about this? I've been in the mostly delinquent kind of Yakuza. I have seen a bunch of them. Okay. And I've been on some missions of those, dealing with some of the Yakuzas. Okay. But why the hell did he kick the shit out of them? For some reason that kid looks familiar. Kind of reminds me of the God of Delinquents. I remember seeing a picture of that guy. This is where, well, mostly Yuma says, what are you talking, well, not Yuma, mostly Rainer says, what the hell are you going on about? Oh, nothing. Well, we should probably be going on a mission now to spy to see if he has a sacred gear. But from what I can see, he clearly has a sacred gear of hands. This is where, well, we'll see Donisik said, kind of just grinning a little bit. This is where, well, they're not really trying to kill Issei because they're actually trying to recruit him because of mostly Azo's words. But this is where, well, mostly Rainer just shook their head saying, whatever. We just have to look if he has a sacred gear. That's all we have to look at, right? Just to recruit him. We can't just recruit a normal human, even if he's good at, like, fighting. That's where, well, Donisik says, I mean, he can be better in fighting if we can just give him the proper training. Rainer says, no. Now, this was, mostly Azo's idea to kind of, well, mostly bring him along. This is where Minto says, why don't you call Azo father? Rainer right now face becomes ready and says, shut up, Minto. This is where, well, Minto says, I'm just saying. Whatever. You don't need to hear me out. This is where, well, mostly Rainer growls at her and just says, whatever. Now, we go into a time skip of mostly Issei dealing with more delinquent gangsters and even a Yakuza boss one time, but whatever. He was actually pretty hurt and wounded, pretty bad. He was getting out of the mostly forest because he was kind of coughing up a little bit of blood, but just spits it out and says, wow, such annoying fucking Yakuza members. Whatever. But other than that, I'll be leaving it off here for only part 2 of this What If. And other than that, bye, see you, and yeah, bye-bye.